Reality. It's an ambiguous concept. It's an individual's perception of environment and situations with their five senses. What that means is how you perceive it is how it is. So when we come to terms with that, we realize we, in fact, create our reality.
We create our own reality. We decide who we are and what we're gonna be. We create our own.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Leveled Up Podcast with me, Mike Adler. And the Leveled Up Podcast is all about what it says, leveling up physically, mentally, in all aspects of life. So that's what we do here, is discuss things regarding leveling up. So I just want to say thank you for tuning in. While you're here, if you could, click the subscribe on the channel and leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. I appreciate everyone who tunes in. It means the world to me, and sharing it's the best way to help us grow. So share with your friends, and let's get these messages out there to as many people as possible. Today I want to discuss relationships. Now, there are many types of relationships. But relationships are pretty much essential in this world. Rarely do you meet someone who has no relationships in their life. No friends, no family, no nothing. Because even like people that you run into at the store, like the clerk that you see every day when you go to 7-Eleven, like if you transact with that person on a daily basis, you do have a relationship with that person in a sense, even though that's a more distant example of one. It's just part of being a human, and it is also part of what you need to grow in your personal life and in your business. They say the more handshakes, the more money you make. That means the more relationships that you build, the more business opportunities you're able to, build and grow. So being able to build relationships is an important skill. And then you have your relationships, like whether it's friends or your significant other sort of relationships, platonic or romantic. And those ones are also obviously very important. And the people who you allow into your life, the people you allow to have relationships with you, is something that you need to take very seriously. Because like when we're younger, and it's our like school years and stuff, we start, we find people who like similar things to us, or maybe even we have a friend or two, and then they introduce us to a couple people they know, and just by association, those people become friends. But a lot of those relationships end up being ones that just aren't very solid. They're just there. They're just like filler relationships. But as we get older, hopefully, we start to be more picky about who we let into our circle. You see, like, when you're young, you know, high school or even younger, like, you have fucking a huge, everyone's your friend. And then life happens a few times. You get fucked over by some people. People, you know, do you wrong. And you start to learn that not everyone is your friend. And so you put your guards up, and before you know it, you realize your circle's pretty small. You know, you may have your family and then a best friend and a couple friends, but that's it. You realize that not everyone you run into and talk to is a friend. I think that is something that a lot of people struggle with. And I say struggle because they don't realize that, yeah, even though they have all these people they know, that anytime they go out, they're like saying hi to everyone, they know all these people, but when it comes down to like you really needing someone in your corner, or some shit happens and you need someone, those people are nowhere to be found. So it's a struggle because you're spending time putting energy into something that does not benefit you. And the thing about relationships is, I've said this before, and some people, you know, take it the wrong way, but like a relationship should be one where you mutually use each other. And I know using someone has a negative connotation, but really, like my good friend Joe, who I haven't seen in many, many years because he moved to Texas, and he's one of those people that like we are good friends, and no matter how much time and distance there is between us, they will always be tight like that. And we had this saying that was, everything is reciprocal, because that's what we lived by in our friendship. Like, you know, whether it's him buying me something or me doing something for him, like, we weren't never like keeping tallies or anything, but we just always knew that I got him and he's got me. And everything was reciprocal. And that's how it really should be. Because that's what's going to allow you to use relationships to grow your life. Because other people have resources that you don't have. Just like you have certain resources, whether it's knowledge, skills, whatever. You have things they don't have, they have things you don't have. So when you build that relationship with them, you're pooling together your resources. So now you went from having, say 5 things, but they brought their 5 things over. Now you have 10 resources to work with. And you can imagine how doubling your resource power could affect you getting to where you're trying to go. But this is also why it's so important to build relationships with like-minded individuals. And I'm not talking about you like to sit around at the bar, get fucked up, so you hang out with other guys who like to sit around at the bar and get fucked up. That's not a relationship that's worth putting energy into. And in that situation, you should focus on getting you right before you even bring anyone else into your life. Because that's not helping anyone. So, Yeah, everything is reciprocal, and pooling resources. Using someone is not negative if you're giving as well. If you're just taking, then it is negative. But that's why you have to put into the relationship as much as or more than you take out. That should make sense. But it's not always the case for many people. So, and then we have romantic relationships. And this one's tricky because now we're bringing our emotion into it. To be in a romantic relationship, it's built off of the fact that you have these feelings for this person that's different than how you feel about other people. So naturally, these relationships are different. They're different than other ones. I mean, everyone's different slightly, but the romantic relationship is different because of the fact that you have your emotions, but also your like sexual needs tied up into it. And these relationships can, like any relationship, they can be good or bad, but the problem is they could be good, they could be good for the sex, but they could be terrible for the other thing that a relationship should give you. And that's why it can get so tricky, because you have these added layers, and not only do those layers, can they be, good and bad at the same time, but they also could they could just get you in trouble, to say the least. Excuse me. Now, a romantic relationship, you have to be extra cautious about these ones because of all the layers you inherently, it has more, you invest more into it. It takes more of your energy and time and focus. So picking the right person is essential. It's critical. But the problem is, someone may be perfect in the beginning and the early stages, but sometimes those people switch up on you. Especially in a, guy-girl normal relationship. You're not gonna completely understand each other in the beginning, but you may have fulfill each other's desires in the beginning. But as time goes on, that things may come into light that you didn't see before, didn't understand before. And the more you learn about this person, you realize they are not who they were in the beginning. But these relationships can also be super positive. It's very rare. It's very rare, but you hear of people who you know, they have this crazy idea and they want to go for it, and you know they have to quit their regular job to do it, and they go and they tell their partner, their girl or their boy or friend or whatever, that they want to do this thing, and their partner is like, that's great, I support you, and they get behind them and encourage them and never once tell them not to do it or like talk them down on it. And those people are rare. Those relationships are rare, because more often it's the opposite way. Like, one person wants to do this thing and they tell their significant other that they want to do it, and then they shut them down, tell them not to do it, tell them they have to keep their job. And that's the kind of thing that's so dangerous about it, because you love this person on different levels, and so you listen to them when you want to do this other thing that you want to pursue and that you think you'll love. And because you love this person and share these bonds with them that only is between you and them, you'll go against your own best interest just to keep the relationship intact. And that's a risky thing, because it's very possible that years down the road, if you make it that long, that you guys don't work out. Something happens and you guys go your separate ways or whatever, and all of a sudden now you're like, fuck, I could have started that thing that I wanted to do and be fucking 4 years into it by now. Now I'm like, maybe that opportunity's gone, or maybe, you know, you're just defeated by the fact that you missed out on this time and you don't even pursue it. I will tell you, like, in my music career, every time I got in a relationship, my music production slowed down or stopped, because I got wrapped up in the relationship. And then every time that I've been single and, you know, just on my own, that's when my music would flourish. Partially, I know, because, you know, being alone is lonely, and I fill that time with something, with creating, with making music, because I'm not just going to sit around and do nothing or watch TV. But also that loneliness and sort of void that you feel when you don't have another person, which, I don't know, I shouldn't say that, because I was pretty damn content when I was by myself. But there is, you don't realize until you get back in a relationship that, like, damn, there is that aspect of having that person tied to your life that is kind of nice, knowing you have, like, someone to call and that there's someone waiting for you. But I just say these things so that, you know, from my experience, I could tell you, like, if you're trying to do something big, focus on that. Be very careful and maybe avoid getting in a relationship, like a romantic relationship, because there's a very good chance that it'll fuck up your progress. And it just depends what you want to do. Like, if having kids is more important to you than building this business that you want to build, then yeah, being in a relationship is a good route to go, because then you could get that family started. But if you know, need to put in 12 hours a day on this thing, this project, whatever it is you're doing, your music, your whatever, then you may want to hold off on getting into one of those relationships until you start to see the kind of progress that you're after, because then you will be more set and stable and like know that you're on the path that you want to be on. So if you were to get into a relationship, you would already have like a set schedule on like, I'm doing this. I already have, it's just like more, it's just easier, I guess, to like set your boundaries and stuff when you know your boundaries, rather than just like, I just have to fucking grind all day, every day until I get, some results. It can be hard because those romantic relationships require a lot of energy. And when shit goes wrong, it puts you in a funk. And when you're in that funk, you're not going to get anything done. Maybe you will, but it's very hard because you're so focused on this person and making sure that they're good. So, but then there's platonic relationships, like relationships with someone from the other sex that you are not sexually, you don't do anything sexual, and you're just homies. Those relationships are really beneficial because you get to hear the perspective of the other sex from someone who you know, like, and trust, that also doesn't have some different intentions for you. So those people can, they give you a perspective that you otherwise wouldn't have. And they can also be great wingmen and women, because they could, make friends with someone of the other sex that you're interested in and bring them into your life and talk you up and stuff. But no matter what, you have to be cautious about any relationship you enter from here on out. You got to make sure people are on the same page as you and they want to grow. They want to see you do well just as much as you want to see them do well. And like, they have things to offer, whether it's knowledge, skills, or whatever resources they may have, like, and just don't allow just anyone into your life. And definitely, when you're looking for a partner, make sure that that person has your best intentions at heart, and they are also driven themselves. Because very often it'll be one person wants this, wants this life, and they're working and grinding towards it, while this person is just doesn't know what they want, and they're just coasting along. So yeah, relationships are important. They're super important, and they will allow you to level up your life and also allow you to be a part of leveling up their lives, which is equally cool. But you need to grow them just like you plant a seed. You need to plant a friend seed, like meeting someone, and then build and grow that relationship, just like the seed. Put energy in, make sure you're texting and calling and like doing your part to show that you want to grow a relationship with that person. And then do what you can to help them and tell them what they can do to help you, and do it. And hopefully they do it to you. And then see how beneficial that is for both parties, because they say you can't do this shit alone. You can't do great things alone. Even in like things that are solo stuff where you see one person is like the star, they always have a team behind them. And that team is a combination of relationships between all parties. So you have to learn how to build and maintain and grow relationships. So I just wanted to discuss that today because it's super important. And I hope that you have quality relationships in your life, and that you're looking for building quality relationships moving forward, and not just hanging on to old ones because it's comfortable. So that's going to be it for today. Real quick, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching with me, I offer one-on-one sessions where we will focus on your fitness, your mindset. I'll help keep you accountable, and we'll focus on getting your goals, writing down and hitting your goals. We just want to help you to become the best version of yourself and ultimately level up your life. If that interests you, there's going to be a link down below in the description. And then also, I have my online course, the Get Fit Blueprint. If you want to learn what you need to know in order to build the body that you want, this is for you. So there'll be a link for that as well in the description. You can get that and start building the body that you desire. Again, thank you for watching, and click share, hit subscribe. I appreciate you so much, and until next time, make sure you're building the good relationships and removing the shitty relationships. See you next time. Peace.
We create our own reality. We decide